You think you know the cost of a failed exam. Maybe a bad mood, a lost summer, or a grounding. But what if the real heavy price isn't the failure itself, but the lie you tell to hide it? Imagine a world where your deepest passion, the one thing that makes you feel alive, is constantly at war with your dullest obligation. This is Laya's world. At 19, she's tall, striking, and dressed like a living fashion mood board in her signature black t-shirt and jeans. Her future in her mind is painted in vibrant silks and runway lights. Her present, however, is covered in a thick layer of dust, specifically on her untouched economics textbook. Her phone is a portal to style. Her college notebooks are just expensive paperweights. Laya knew the deadline was approaching. She heard the warnings from her mother, Emma. Studies come first, the classic boring advice. Laya smiled, nodded, and kept scrolling. She was too talented, too stylish to be bogged down by facts and figures. That was her dangerous belief. And that belief led her straight to the college notice board, where 3 devastating words were waiting for her. Fail. 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 This isn't a story about a bad grade. It's a psychological slow burn about the terrifying weight of a secret, the tightening knot of guilt. And the moment a mother's instinct and a hidden piece of paper forces a collision between a daughter's dream and her fierce denial. When the truth finally comes out, the discipline is firm, final, and unforgettable. The shame of the failure is nothing compared to the shock of the consequence. You're about to hear what happens when a firm paddle exposes the high cost of a deliberate deception. Asterisk, the world of fashion sparkled, brighter than any textbook ever could for Laya at 19. She was tall, slim, and stylish, always seen in her favorite black t-shirt and jeans. Her phone was filled with fashion blogs, Instagram reels, and online shopping carts waiting to be checked out. Her desk at home told the whole story. Piles of glossy magazines with models draped across them lay stacked over unopened notebooks. Pens had rolled under the chair, untouched for days. A dusty economics book sat at the corner, buried beneath makeup palettes. Her mother, Emma, often walked past her room, shaking her head. She would see her daughter scrolling endlessly on her phone, adjusting her hair in the mirror, or sketching dresses on scraps of paper instead of studying. "Laya," she said one evening while folding laundry, "you need to focus more on your books. Fashion is fine, but studies come first. Don't forget your exams are around the corner." Laya smiled casually, flipping her braid over her shoulder. "I know, Mom. Don't worry. I've got it." But she didn't. A week later, the results came out at college. Students crowded the notice board, whispering, groaning, some laughing in relief. Laya pushed her way through, her heart pounding. When her name appeared on the list, her eyes froze. Fail, fail, fail again. Her throat tightened. She quickly grabbed her report card from her teacher, glancing at the ugly red marks. Complete failure. The paper trembled in her hand as she shoved it deep into her bag. Her friends chatted happily around her, some complaining about low marks, others celebrating. But for Laya, the world felt like it had collapsed. If Mom sees this, she thought in terror, she'd be so disappointed. I can't let her know. By the time she reached home, she had made her decision. She would hide the report card. Maybe she'd think of an excuse later. Maybe she could lose it. Anything was better than facing her mother's disappointment right now. For a few days, things went smoothly. Emma asked casually one evening, "Did you get your results back yet?" Laya, sitting cross-legged on her bed in her black t-shirt and jeans, scrolling through fashion reels, froze for half a second. Then she forced a smile. "No, not yet. Teachers said they're still compiling." Emma raised an eyebrow but said nothing. Still, she noticed how her daughter's eyes darted away too quickly, how her fingers tightened on her phone. A mother's instincts never lie. Each day after, Emma asked again, and each time Laya brushed it off. Her mother's suspicion grew heavier. One Saturday afternoon, Emma was tidying the house. She gathered laundry from Laya's room, shirts, jeans, socks scattered across the floor. With a sigh, she picked up the pile and reached for the black backpack, half hidden under the bed. She unzipped it to check for clothes inside, but instead her fingers brushed against folded paper. Curious, she pulled it out. It was the report card. The moment Emma's eyes landed on the grades, her breath caught. Failing marks, every subject. A mother's heart always hopes, but here the truth was undeniable. Her hands trembled slightly as disappointment sank in. But what struck her even more was not the failure. It was the hiding, the deliberate deception. Emma set the laundry aside, the report card clutched in her hand, and marched to the living room where her daughter lounged on the sofa, flipping through a fashion magazine. Laya. Emma's voice was sharp. The girl looked up, startled. Yes, Mom. Emma held up the paper like evidence in a trial. Care to explain this? Color drained from Laya's face. She sat up quickly, her braid falling forward. Mom, I can explain. Explain what? Emma cut her off, her voice calm but firm. That you failed, or that you lied and hid this from me. Tears pricked at Laya's eyes. She stammered. I didn't want to upset you. I was scared. You thought hiding the truth would make it go away? Emma's eyes blazed with disappointment. Do you know how hard your father and I worked to give you everything? And instead of trying, you waste your time on fashion videos and lies? Laya's voice cracked. But fashion is my passion. I can't focus on boring lectures when all I want is to design, to create. Passion without discipline is nothing, Emma snapped. Dreams are fine, but not when you throw away responsibility. And lying to me? That is something I will never accept. Emma dragged a sturdy wooden chair into the center of the room. Her voice was steady, final. You've chosen to deceive me. Now you'll understand what that costs. Laya's eyes widened in panic. Mom, please. I'm 19. I'm too old for this. No one is too old to face the consequences of their actions, Emma replied. She sat on the chair, paddle in hand, and pointed. Come here. Laya backed away, clutching the magazine to her chest like a shield. No, Mom. Please, I said, I'm sorry. I won't do it again. Sorry without truth is empty, Emma said firmly. She stood, grabbed her daughter's wrist, and guided her across her lap. The black t-shirt and jeans did nothing to protect her from what was coming. The first swat of the paddle landed with a loud crack. Laya gasped, her hands flying forward to grip the chair leg. Mom, she yelped, but Emma's discipline was steady, measured. The paddle rose and fell, each swat sharp, echoing in the quiet living room. Laya kicked and squirmed, her braid whipping against her back, but her mother's grip was firm. Why are you being punished? Emma asked between swats. Because I hid the report card, Laya sobbed. And why else? Because I failed my exams. The paddling continued, each stroke searing the lesson deeper than words ever could. Tears streamed down Laya's cheeks, her voice breaking as she cried out apologies. At last, Emma set the paddle aside. She rested her hand gently on her daughter's back, her voice softer now. That is enough. Stand up. Laya rose shakily, her cheeks wet with tears, her hands brushing at her jeans as if to soothe the sting. She couldn't bring herself to look at her mother. Laya, Emma said gently, lifting her daughter's chin. Do you understand why this had to happen? Yes, Mom, she whispered, voice trembling. Because I lied. Because I wasted time. Because I failed. And because, Emma added, you thought your passion excused your dishonesty. Passion is good, but truth and responsibility must come first. Do you understand that? Laya nodded quickly, her braid slipping over her shoulder. I do. I promise I'll study harder. I'll balance both. I won't lie again. Emma's stern expression softened. She pulled her daughter into a hug, holding her close. I only discipline you because I love you. I cannot stand by and watch you ruin your future. If fashion is truly your dream, then prove it by being strong enough to handle both worlds. Leia clung to her, sobbing softly. I'm sorry, Mom. I'll do better. I promise. That night, Leia sat at her desk, the paddles sting still fresh, the report card lying open in front of her. For the first time in months, her fashion magazines were stacked neatly aside. Her black t-shirt clung to her shoulders as she hunched over a notebook, finally writing notes from her textbook. Her phone buzzed beside her with a new post from her favorite fashion blogger. She glanced at it, tempted, then turned it face down. The echo of the paddle, the tears, the shame it all lingered, reminding her that shortcuts and lies led only to pain. As midnight struck, she whispered to herself, I'll prove I can do this. Fashion and studies, no more hiding. The hidden report card had been exposed, but so had the truth she needed most. Real success requires honesty, effort, and discipline. And this time, she would not forget. The story of Laya and Emma raises a crucial, often debated question about parenting and discipline. Was Emma right to use corporal punishment to teach a 19-year-old a lesson about lying and responsibility, or was she too harsh? We want to hear your perspective, Dot, in the comments below. Tell us, do you think lying about a major failure is a worse offense than the failure itself? Why? What non-physical consequence do you believe would have been just as effective for Leia at age 19?